What? Bang!
Pro Wrestling Podcast. Just when they think they got the answers, I change the question.
Rep through rep.
Yeah.
Woo!
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Did he do it? Unbelievable.
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am Macho King Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. I said WWE stands for. It's me, Austin. I will never retire.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it, help us out, and click subscribe to show your support. Hey, look, are you sick and tired of dropping, let's just call it far too much money every single year in the latest and greatest wrestling video game? You gotta stop. Put that cash back in your pocket, do something better with your money, and instead go over to Wrestler Unstoppable, available totally free. If you want to get there, it's app.wrestlerunstoppable.com, where you get to create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storylines, headline PLEs, even build your own corporation from the ground up, all included totally free in Wrestler Unstoppable. Again, to get there, you got to go to the website, app.wrestlerunstoppable.com. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shoutouts, like my good buddy John down in Texas, then you got to pop over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. We do have a loyalty rewards program, and this month, we got a few days left in the month. We're doing a special pricing. $10 a month contributor gets to co-host a show with me. $5 a month, you get to be entered into a drawing to also potentially host a show with myself. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you've got questions, comments, something you want us to touch on in a future episode, the best way to do that is to call into the Pro Wrestling Sound Off line 267-642-1160, and I will get to those questions, comments, concerns, whatever it is that you'd like me to address in a future episode. Tonight, jumping into a discussion about WWE Raw. This is the Raw heading into SummerSlam. This is where we needed to see all the, I's dotted and T's crossed heading into the biggest party of the summer, supposedly. And if you tuned into our previous episode, we had a conversation about the fact that the Night 1, Night 2 SummerSlam cards are somewhat unbalanced. Night 1 is very heavy weighted with major matches. Night 2, little lesser strength of matches. I'm really hoping Roman and Seth deliver, because they're going to be what's going to have to carry Night 2. Maybe some Penta Chad Gable, but at the end of the day, the whole show tonight was very interesting to me. We had 4 matches and 4 additional segments, but all 8 segments got physical, which is wonderful, because even though it's not matches, it gives you that same feeling. You feel like you're constantly in the action, and that's really what makes the show special. You don't always necessarily have to have constant, nonstop professional wrestling matches to really have an enjoyable show. Let's start the show off. They have Femi come out, Brock Lesnar come out. They are supposed to do a weigh-in. Now, they're inside the cage, and of course, Triple H, being the egomaniac that he is in the last several years, had to be out there. Why he had to be there if Adam Pearce was there, I don't know. And they're surrounded with all these cops, too. The cage is down, which was very strange to begin with. Oba comes out, enters the cage, he does his weigh-in. Now, first off, I don't know why we're doing a weigh-in to begin with. This is not UFC, but let's just go down that rabbit hole a little bit. If it was UFC, they would be stripping down to their boxers, their tighty-whities or whatever, their Speedo, and doing a weigh-in. Femi was in there in like cargo pants. So how accurate is your weigh-in? Coming in at 302 pounds, which right away made me think of, I think that was Hulk Hogan's weight the whole time he was at his prime in WWE, and that's weird how those numbers just connect to certain people. So Femi gets weighed in, and then you hit Brock's music, and Brock comes out. First off, I don't know why you're weighing one guy without both guys out there. That's also a little strange for me, but whatever. So Brock comes out, and then they lock the cage door so that Oba can't get to Brock, and Brock doesn't have to go inside. And Brock and Paul Heyman's cutting a promo on Oba the whole time as they walk around the ring. Oba ends up getting a microphone when they walk away, and they won't enter the cage, talking trash. We got no real physicality between Brock and Oba. And I don't understand what this segment was meant to be. If you're not going to actually do both sides of the weigh-in, you just had them come out to taunt each other for 10 minutes. And what's really frustrating is, and I get it, it's physicality, which I said was a good thing earlier, but this is another week where they had a scene where there were police officers in the ring and a wrestler beats the crap out of all the police. Oba ends up beating up all these police officers. If you're going to do that, don't call them police officers, because you have to suspend some disbelief when you're watching professional wrestling. If you want people to buy into this choreographed, predetermined wrestling event, then you got to at least try to hide the fact that so much of it is predetermined. If you want Oba to beat up a whole bunch of people, just have them be security guards. Have them be developmental wrestlers and say that. You know what I mean? There's no reason to try to fleece everybody, pull the wool over their eyes. And if Oba Femi beat the crap out of 15 cops, he'd be in jail and he wouldn't be getting out in time for SummerSlam. All right? It just doesn't make sense. And it's lazy booking. We just had the same thing a couple weeks ago for a different angle. It's ridiculous. Can we please move past that? When we had the Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker feud, we had the police involved. Do we really need cops involved in this? Moving on from there, thought the segment was okay for the fact that Oba is starting to get really good on the mic. I was kind of surprised that Brock was flipping a double bird at the end, and so was Oba. I also thought it was odd that Triple H needed to be out there, but when all the cops are getting beat up, he just stood on the outside of the ring. He didn't even get off the ring. He was standing right at the top of the steps. Like, if you're Oba and you're going to beat somebody up, I'd have beat up Triple H. It would have made more sense. So him standing there was really strange and really awkward. Okay, I'm going to stop complaining. We'll move on. Next opportunity to see any action was the Vision versus Alpha Academy. This should have been a World Tag Team Championship match. There's no reason not to. And of course, you get the typical spots where Otis comes in and he gets some momentum going. Tozawa gets a little bit of offense in. But the Vision really, through underhanded tactics, which again makes them look weak. You don't need Maxine out there causing distractions if Braun Breaker is the kind of, immovable force that you want him to be. Even Austin Theory, you're making them both look really weak. But this week really accentuated what we've been talking about for quite a while now. Austin Theory was the star of this match. Whether it was him talking about how she's with me now and repeatedly talking about that, about him and Maxine, whether it was Maxine getting on the apron and trying to seduce Otis when he was getting ready to splash Theory off the turnbuckle. Nothing about this was about Braun Breaker. Now, thankfully, they kept Logan Paul outside the ring and away from the action for the most part. But I really thought, you got to start showcasing Braun. Braun, I get it. He hits the spears. Yay. Lots of people hit spears. I love how fast he runs the ropes. That's cool too. But lots of people can run the ropes. I want to see Braun be the lead, not the third or fourth act in the group. Like, it's really, really sad how far they've let his character fall. Now, here's my other point of contention with this. I have no problem with Vision winning. Okay, they need to win. I love that they named their finishing hold now the Double Vision. But where are the Street Profits? You lose the World Tag Team Championship and then you just disappear for 2, 3, 4 weeks? Is that what we did? We waited all those months for them to come back, win the Tag Team Championship for a week or two, and then lose it right back and then disappear again? Like, what are we doing right now? Yeah, they were over, man. The people were really getting behind them, and then they disappear. When they're doing the beatdown after the match, post-match beatdown, that's where the Profits should have come running out. They should still be angry. They just lost the World Tag Team Championship to these guys. Where are they? This is horrible booking. And you have all this talent on your roster that really needs as much television time as you possibly can. And here was a prime opportunity to do that. And what are you going to add? 12 seconds of them running out and running off the Vision? But just so that they're visual. I don't understand. And the only thing I can rationalize, because they did run another vignette tonight about arriving on 8-3 for Big Cass. Are you waiting so that Enzo and Cass come in and they right away go after the Vision's championships? Hate that idea. I still think Chad Gable should be mixing it up with the Vision. Chad Gable should be heading towards a feud with Braun Breaker. All that stuff. I don't understand what we're doing. This part of the show I was not pleased with. From there, for the 9,000th time, it seems like, we get Rusev versus Javon Evans. This feud has been done to death. I'm over it. One, I'm so sick and tired of them taking Rusev, who was a guy who was like undefeated for almost a year before he lost to Cena at Mania, and he couldn't be defeated by anybody. Now he loses to anyone. I can't remember the last time Rusev really went on a tear. I can't believe I'm going to say this. He looked better in AEW as an unstoppable force when he was doing the Redeemer gimmick than he's looked since he's been back in WWE. And part of the reason he hated being there was his not being able to be in great feuds and this and that and be showcased the right way. What are you doing right now? Javon Evans picking up a win, great. You're trying to push the young guy. He's great. He's over the fans. Everybody loves him. I do too. We think he's phenomenal. But you know what? Seriously? Again? Move on. Let him do something. Heck, there should have been some kind of multi-man match for the guys at SummerSlam. You could have even done that number one contendership at SummerSlam would have been better than what they've been doing. From there, we get the concert with Joe Hendry and Danhausen, which, I'm going to be honest, a bunch of mini Housens and cheerleaders and all this. It was hilarious. I had no problem with it. I really didn't. The problem I'm starting to have with Joe Hendry is you've taken away the mystique of the say his name and he appears. That's the whole thing that got him over, and you're not even using it. Then they get attacked, and not by anybody. Ryan Garcia, who's preparing to defend his championship in a boxing ring in September, comes out, slides into the ring, grabs the guitar, and lays out Joe Hendry. And then the Judgment Day hit the ring, and they're doing a beatdown. I don't understand why we have to involve celebrities in freaking everything we do. What are we doing? I don't need Ryan Garcia in a WWE ring. Not right after we've had all these other celebrities getting involved. It's too much because you make it look like your profession is so easy that anybody can do it. And if that's the case, then why would I pay the money you want me to pay to watch professionals when any Joe Schmo could come out of the crowd and be a professional wrestler? And I'm not trying to knock Ryan Garcia's athletic prowess. He's a world champion boxer, you know? But I'm just saying, some of the people they've had do this, Johnny Knoxville, people like that, it doesn't make sense. You look weak. I don't like it. I hated his involvement here. From there, we get Rey Mysterio versus Ethan Page. Probably my favorite match of the night. I thought the way that Ethan Page picks up the win, Rey's going for a 619. He pulls up the drape, which somehow blocks the 619, which I thought was wildly creative. He slams Rey's head into the turnbuckle from the outside, which I thought Rey should have sold that better. And then he brings him in the ring, hits his suplex, and pins him. The Egoplex, or whatever they're calling it. And he pins him. Clean win, clean victory over a Hall of Fame level player. Helps establish a newer guy. I thought Ethan Page kind of got lost in the shuffle for a few weeks anyways. I actually liked this match. I thought it was pretty solid, especially for what it was supposed to be. From there, the Usos make their way through the crowd. They're going to start talking some trash, and before they get a chance really to get going, Solo Sikoa comes out, and there's some back and forth there, which of course leads to LA Knight coming out. LA Knight, man, his mic work tonight was on point. Like, it really felt like an Attitude Era promo. That being said, as LA Knight comes out, he gets in the ring. He and Solo are fighting with the Usos. They're getting the upper hand, and Jacob Fatu's music hit, which is some of the best music in WWE right now. I know people don't love all the music they have right now, but his is freaking amazing, and it fits him perfectly. He comes out, starts laying everybody out, which of course brings out Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm going to call him that because Royce Keys still is weird for me to say. But when Royce Keys comes out, I have to ask myself, when your other teammates for SummerSlam are out there, are you an idiot? Why are you not out there with them to begin with? You already know that there's a numbers game when it comes to the bloodline. So again, I get it. It's scripted, it's choreographed, predetermined, whatever you want to call it. But it still has to make sense. You know that Jacob's going to come and rescue the Usos, so Royce Keys should have been out there from the very beginning with LA Knight, with Solo Sikoa. And otherwise, it looks disjointed. It looks like you're not as unified as you need to be heading into this SummerSlam match. Great brawl. Loved every bit of it. Kept Jacob looking strong. Royce Keys looked really great in this. I did think it was interesting to hear the fans chanting for Jacob when Royce and Jacob were facing off. It's obvious the fans have their favorite of who they want to be pushed, but which is a bad thing for Royce Keys because I think he's phenomenal, but I don't think it's a great thing to have him in there with Jacob right now because of how over Jacob is. From there, we get the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, Sol Ruca, Raquel Rodriguez, and I don't understand sometimes. This is a match we've seen repeatedly, or some variation thereof, where Liv Morgan interferes and Roxanne Perez interferes, and here comes Io Sky to make the save, and she's beating up Liv, and it looked like she might have really messed up her knee on the running shot in the turnbuckle. But then Sol Ruca goes for the Soul Snatcher, and Roxanne Perez is there to swipe her face and make her fall in the turnbuckle. Tejana Bomb pin, new Women's Intercontinental Champion. Now look, I am so happy for Raquel Rodriguez. I think she should be Women's World Champion, not the Intercontinental Champion. But I'm thrilled to see her get her first taste of singles Women's Championship history. That's wonderful. I think they wasted Sol Ruca's reign. I think they did nothing but repetitive booking. Once again, this is another time. It's one of the biggest issues we have with WWE Creative right now, and they don't care. A report came out that they know that people are tired of their AI storylines, and they don't care. They're going to keep doing it because you guys keep buying tickets, and so do I. And as long as we keep buying tickets, they're going to keep doing what they have to do at the least expensive option, and that's what they're doing. But this is ridiculous. And how long? It's almost the same stupidity as the previous segment. You already know it's going to be 3-on-1. Why wasn't Io out there from the beginning if she's there to defend Sol? Where is a third person? I don't care who the third person is. Where is a third person who's going to back these two up? There's nobody. That's how lazy the booking's gotten in WWE in the women's division. The women's division is atrocious. We got 2 world champions who haven't defended doodly poo since they won their championships at WrestleMania. One who's injured, not her fault. The other one who's not injured, who hasn't done anything of substance. And then we're going to sit there and we're going to have a 3-on-2 every single week. There are so many female talents on the roster. You could have put anybody with them to at least even the odds, even if the Judgment Day women stand tall. Doesn't matter. It would have made this segment much more believable, much more enjoyable. I'm happy for Raquel. Hate the way their repetitive booking is just destroying the show. Then we get to our final segment, Roman and Seth. Oh my God. I felt like this is the exact same promo for like the 4th or 5th time since this feud's been going on, when you factor in all the vignettes and the history and all this other nonsense. Why can't we just have Seth and Roman go out there and cut something new? Talk about something new. I'm in your head. You're my bitch and all this other stuff. Like, I don't need to hear that for the 3rd or 4th time. I'm tired of it. I don't need Roman saying, I need to beat you. We know. You told us the first interview conversation segment you guys had. I know, Seth, you've always beaten him. He can't conquer you. I know all this. So why are you wasting my time? The only productive thing that came from this segment was the part where Roman ends up attacking Seth when Seth is talking about his kids and how he's going to make him his bitch. And then Roman attacks him. He hits the spear. He goes out. And then when he sees Seth Rollins against the rope, almost in the same pose after he got hit with the chair, he goes out of the ring to go grab a chair, and he stares at the chair for a while. You know that this spot is going to happen at SummerSlam, where he's going to grab the chair, and I bet you he'll probably hit Seth with the chair, and that's probably how he'll win the match, because it's how predictable their stuff is these days. But he slides into the ring with the chair, and Seth catches him with a curb stomp to the chair to end the show. I mean, look, I like the final seconds of what they did. If we could have eliminated the entire speaking portion, it would have been fine. Like, seriously, these two could have walked to the ring and just started brawling. I'd have been much happier with that. We didn't get it with Oba and Brock. We didn't get it where we needed. We got it in so many other segments, but not this one. Not the right way. Like, the conversational stuff just ruined it for me. I'm just saying. All in all, pretty average night for Raw. You know, the booking in a lot of places very lazy, very repetitive, nothing new on a go-home show heading into SummerSlam. Very disappointing when it could have been so much more. There's so much opportunity. WWE has got such a stacked roster, and they keep dropping the ball. This is why when I hear people talk about how AEW's got the most stacked roster in wrestling right now, I'm not going to necessarily agree with that or disagree with that. What I'm going to say is Tony Khan knows how to use his guys in ways that at least gets them on the show and puts out great quality wrestling matches, even if his storylines don't make a whole lot of sense sometimes. But at the end of the day, I mean, all in all, the show wasn't terrible. It just could have been so much better. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode. Run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks, as always, to Suno for creating the music and sound effects we use in our show. If you are looking to bring a new friend to family game night, it's real easy. Pop over to thegamecrafter.com and pick up a copy of Sketchy People, where you get to showcase your artistic side in this game from Beezle Games. If you're looking for your next career move, maybe you're considering college, university life, maybe you're just trying to figure out what you want to do and you need some formal training, go to our website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking some time with us tonight. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a great night.